Many of us want peace, but do we really know what it takes to, number one, obtain it, and number two, keep it? It's your host, Jaya Fire. Welcome back to the Sweet Tea Show. And today is all about inner peace because we all crave it. We all need it. And I forgot my lighter. I'll be back. For someone that craves inner peace, this video is very important to me and how I show up, because I have been wanting and craving and praying and manifesting for inner peace, but at the same time my body, or is it my mind, rejects it. So I want to tap into that because I feel like that is a worldwide sorry, my cat is acting up, but I feel like it is a worldwide, I don't want to say it's an issue or a problem because it is part of life, but it is a topic that, number one, doesn't really get talked about, and number two, is very common, right? Coming from somebody that is used to trauma, and I'm not saying trauma as in it's an excuse, but it's just my reality, right? Your body, well, my body, got addicted to that feeling, addicted to the fight or flight mode, addicted to survival, addicted to pain, addicted to toxicity, addicted to these things because it has been happening in my, let's say, 20 years of living, my first 20 years. Because, you experience these things as small as an infant, right? So a good 20 years, I've been exposed to trauma. I've been exposed to a world where most things are disappointing. Most things are scary. Most things are unloving. Most things, PTSD, everything. So, as my goal, it has always been for me just peace, 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 peace. Like, I need peace. I'm tired of living like this. I'm exhausted. I can't function anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's just getting overwhelming. It's time for me to heal. It's time for me to move on. It's time for me to actually start planning out my life, right? And that involves contentment. Ooh. Contentment. That's the word right there. Because in order for you to obtain peace of any sort, you have to be content. You have to be still. People see this stage in somebody and classify it as boring. Like, for example, a healthy relationship. People mostly associate healthy relationships with being boring. They need something to spice it up. They need to be on their toes 24/7 or the relationship is not exciting. AKA, you're addicted to that toxicity. AKA, you are addicted to that trauma that you experienced from a child and now bringing it into the relationship. That was me. And it's not an easy, let me tell you this. It is not an easy thing to let go of, because I still struggle with it time to time. Some days better than others, some days worse than others, depending if I'm triggered or not. And for the people that know, when you come from traumatic situations, number one, it's easy for you to get triggered. And number two, when you get triggered, and it's hard for you to zen back. Because once you fully dive into that trigger, you're fully in and all you see is red. I know. I'm trying not to get triggered. Okay, I'm not even gonna start from recently, because honestly, recently I've been doing good. I've been at more of a peaceful mindset lately. But when I was working on it, and it was pretty fresh and heavy, let me think back a timeline with this one. Last year, September, I want to say, I was in a situation that triggered me almost, I ain't gonna say almost every single day, but like at least 2 times out of the week, maybe 1 time out of the week, I'm triggered because of a certain situation that I am in. Please don't mind my cat. I don't know why she's getting the zoomies all of a sudden, and I'm losing my train of thought. But that has been a very triggering situation for me. I was very anxious at the time, depressed at the time, and I wasn't emotionally mature. Yes, I wasn't emotionally mature at the time. The person that you see me as on screen, and for the people that know me probably 6 months ago, they haven't seen the real emotionally immature side of me. Okay? I don't know if it's like popped up time to time on camera. Probably. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to stay authentic to me. So if it popped up a few times in my video, I apologize. Just being kind of ignorant at the time. Right? And last year, September, I was in it deep. It was just this childish energy of me of just trying to play games, especially in the dating area. And I bring up dating a lot because this is how I learn myself the most. And when you're dating and you're single, you are not forced, but you're eventually going to give into the game of dating one way or the other, right? And that's what I was doing. But the dating pool is very childish. And I seen that, and I played on it a lot for myself, for my ego, for whatever the hell I wanted out of the situation. I played into that game for my game, right? So it was addictive, number one. Number two, it was fun to me. And just toxic, and because of that, you end up in situations that are not for your highest good, because you got into a certain situation because you were playing the game, and the game is nothing but manipulation, and that's just how it is, right? And is nobody's fault. We only know what we know at the time. But there is a saying, if you know better, do better. So I started to know better, and I obviously got to do better. But at the time, I wasn't doing better. So I was just addicted to that feeling, and it triggered my fight or flight mode. So it's either I am staying in a situation because I like the challenge, aka the fight, and in all reality, I was just fighting myself, having a battle with myself, even though it reflected with another person and they triggered me for a reason. But at the end of the day, I was crying to myself. At the end of the day, I was the most anxious inside. Like, this person did this to me, but I'm the one that's feeling it. At the end of the day, I'm the one that's fighting with myself. I'm the one that's addicted to the pain that I'm causing onto myself, knowing that I could be in better situations. But I like that fight. I'm addicted to it, even though I'm crying myself to sleep right now. Even though I'm having these overthinking thoughts over and over and over again, but that's what I chose to do. And yeah, that showed in the fight, and my flight mode also showed as well. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I avoided a lot of situations in the past. I'm not proud of it. But that's just something that happens with the flight mode in me. So I didn't really know at the moment how to really stick it out with people in a healthy manner. I only stuck it out with people because I liked that fight. And that fight would last about like 6 months, right? Then I'm just like, all right, I gotta go. It never passed 6 months. And I avoided situations because I feel like I had no obligation to stay in the situation. So I left without proper communication, or I left without, I'll just say proper communication. I don't want to say what I really want to say because that will literally be contradicting myself, but it is what it is. I ghosted a good amount of people, and that was just the flight in me that was just being very avoidant at the time. That was the me that was very inner ego, kind of emotionless, and in my masculine energy, just, yeah. So I had a battle with both, the fight and the flight, the anxious and the depression. But like I said, I chose to do these things, right? And I seen a video with Kiki Palmer the other day, and she was saying that her therapist said to her something about you spiritually wanted to make these choices, or you wanted these things to happen for your higher good. That was the conclusion of the video. That wasn't the exact words, but yeah. And it's so true. Like, my spirit needed to be triggered in those ways in order for me to evolve, But at one point, it was just getting addictive because it started turning into a cycle of, and when you look at relationships in this perspective, is not healthy, okay? Because I wasn't treating the relationship like it was a gem. I looked at relationships strictly, like, for one point in time as something to just, help me evolve. And it wasn't healthy in that manner because that's how I strictly looked at relationships. Like, it was an assignment. Like, it wasn't an actual relationship with me bonding with somebody. No, this is an assignment to understand me better. And once I get that out the way, then you gotta go. And that's just how it was. That's just how it was. And now that I'm looking at relationships in a different light, the person that you're with definitely should reflect to you things that you need to grow or appreciate or whatever the case may be, right? But that shouldn't be the basis of the relationship. That's not all what a relationship is about, right? And I just started going on a cycle of, okay, I'm talking to this person. My pain body, we're going to get into that, but my pain body chose this relationship. And my subconscious knows, I picked this relationship for a reason with my pain body. That means I need to do some type of learning here. That means I need to figure out what the hell is wrong with me. At the time, I thought something was wrong with me. So I'm going to dive into this situation and see what the lesson is. And then I'm out. Because, obviously I wasn't supposed to be in that situation in the first place. And it just became that cycle, assignment after assignment after assignment. So I'm fixing myself, I'm trying to fix the other person, and it was just a cycle. And it tore me down at one point. I was like, okay, I'm addicted to something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it was at the moment, but I'm addicted to toxicity. At one point, I have to choose better for myself. I have to choose peace. This is not peaceful. I'm trying to fix myself and this other person, and this is not it. So I decided to cut off every toxic situation that I felt would hold me back. So I cut off everything in my past. I don't talk to anybody from my past, I believe. I don't think so. And if I do, it's just like a cordial thing. You know what I'm saying? If I have to speak to that person, then I'll speak to the person, but ain't nothing. Anyways. I started healing. I started to reflect, journal, pray, manifest, align my energy with what I really wanted. What I really wanted is something peaceful. What I really wanted this whole time was somebody to actually choose me and stay with me. What I wanted this time was to actually find contentment in a relationship and, just truly being happy, truly experiencing a relationship for what it is and be present with it without my addiction, without struggle. That's what I truly wanted. So manifesting that energy, yes. And now that I am in the situation, we have the pain body. The me that I just explained to you guys that was addicted to the feeling of the struggle in a relationship, making a relationship harder than what it actually is, right? And I lost my track of thought. My pain body is used to the toxic energy, so my pain body basically became part of my personality, my routine, how I do relationships, right? How I treat myself in a relationship. Those patterns stick with you for a little bit until you could dust it off. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna go away so easy. It's not gonna go away on its own. It's not gonna magically disappear because you hopped into a healthy relationship. No, you still gotta put in that work. And I think that's why, I don't know, I haven't searched it up, but I think that's why a lot of couples get into arguments when they first get together. Because when you're in the first stage of infatuation and meeting that person for the first time, you have on your mask. You want to seem perfect for the person that you meet, And in that stage, may come manipulation, the games that are within the dating pool, right? I do so and so to see how much this person really likes me. That is the first stage of it. So that's when people all of a sudden complain about, hey, my man used to take me such and such when we first dated, and all of a sudden he stopped. He doesn't do those things anymore, and we haven't even been together for that long. That is that first stage. That is that mask. You know what I'm saying? And then comes the second stage of, the mask comes off. The pain body starts to come through. The insecurity starts to come through. Everything that you tried to mask up because you're not going to show that on the first date. Most people don't show that on the first date, that they come with this baggage, but everybody comes with something, right? So that's when it peels off, second stage, and you're there just like, okay, where is this energy coming from? But that is the person that you met on day one, right? A lot of couples don't make it through the second stage, which I think comes about within 3 months, if I'm remembering that correctly. And most couples don't make it because that is the hard stage. That is when you truly see your person for who they are and what emotional baggage they carry, how they communicate, how healed are they. You know what I'm saying? These things really start to expose themselves, and that's when you really start to see if you're compatible with somebody. And that's why I feel like I support the talking stage, because the talking stage exposes that before you get into a relationship with somebody, you have to know these things. That's just how I see it. That's why I don't mind the talking stage, because I need to take things as slow as possible to see those things. You know what I'm saying? When you go too fast, I've experienced this as well. But if you go too fast, you miss those things, you miss those insecurities that they were hiding, because in some cases they're visible on the first day that you meet that person. But if you're going too fast, you're not going to see those things, right? And that's why people say, I didn't peep those red flags. Most of them, I'm be honest, are not red flags. Like, most of them. Some of them are, but most of them is just like, hey, this is somebody's emotional baggage. This is somebody's insecurities. That's not a red flag. That's just this person's pain. Like, you really start to see people's pain body the second stage, and that's not a red flag. You miss it on the first thing. What was the red flag was you seen that, you knew you weren't compatible with that, and you did it anyway. But that doesn't mean that person is the red flag. That means, the red flag is you if you went there and you, anyways. So the pain body, in order to truly know if you love somebody, you have to love that person that you met on the first day, and you also have to love their pain body. You also have to love the baggage that they come with, the insecurities, if you truly, 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 truly love somebody, right? People don't make it past the second stage because it's hard to say. Some people do, some people don't. I guess it all depends on it's tough to say. I guess it all depends. I don't want to say how much you like the person, because it doesn't always fall onto that. Some people that's just how they are. They're willing to stick with anybody, whether they like, love, or hate them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like it's that. I feel like it depends how much you are committed to the relationship. I seen a video probably a year back. I've been losing track of time. Time has been going by so fast. But I want to say a year ago, I watched this video and this guy was talking about the key to commitment. The key to commitment is committing yourself to the relationship and not the person. You commit yourself to the person, then anything that they do that you don't like, you could easily kick them to the side. But if you are committed to the relationship, then you know that relationships take work. Then you know that in order for a relationship to work, there comes communication, there comes compromise, there comes anything that comes with healthy relationships. You stick to that relationship, you stick to the values of that relationship, the relationship is most likely to withstand. You know what I'm saying? And we are in an era today. I feel like people say it's Gen Z, but I really just feel like because we're young. I feel like the older that you get, you, depending on who you are as a person, you start coming content with yourself and you want to settle down, right? We're just young. So a relationship, marriage is not in the question, right? You don't value a relationship, so you don't know how to make a relationship withstand. You know what I'm saying? You're committed to that person. You're not going to respect the relationship because you're with, you know what I'm saying? And everything just makes sense in that way. And that's why the phase 2, don't work out. You gotta be committed to the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because relationships, there can be stuff that pops up in a relationship, whether it's within or outside source, that you guys have to come together as a team and realize we're bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a little petty situation. We're not going to let it overcome the love that we built. We're not going to let it overcome, you know, our own values. Like, we're above this, okay? These situations, no. And if it comes to a point where, like, it's shaking up something, that communication has to be open and strong, you know? Yeah. Because lately I've been handling situations that would have triggered me in the past very maturely, right? I'm proud of myself because, like I said, I did not know how to do that in a healthy manner in the past. It was either I'm choosing fight, which I'm actually like give an attitude and, you know what I'm saying? Like, not really hear you, but I hear you, or just be dismissive, whatever it is. That's my fight, right? Because I'm staying in the situation, but that's my fight right there. Or it would just be like, okay, I'm not dealing with this shit, so I'm leaving. Like, we can't, right? I had to learn to be committed to the relationship. I had to learn to be content within and who I'm with. So I had to learn how to emotionally organize my feelings, because when you're triggered, them emotions is not organized. They're all over the place. You start overthinking, you start hyperventilating, and you got anxiety, and then yeah, whole thing. I had to learn how to organize my feelings. Okay, yes, I may feel some type of way, but how do I portray it in a way? How do I communicate this in a way that is understandable for me and the other person, but also considering both sides, also being compassionate? Not an easy thing to do. But the first thing is I recognize the feeling that may brew up, whether I be upset or whatever the case may be. Say I'm upset for the situation and I'm trying to communicate something to my partner. How I try to communicate the best way that I can is, number one, seeing things from both sides, my side and the side that they are trying to explain, right? Because we are not the same person at the end of the day. My brain may function one way and your brain may function another way. But we have to communicate that in a way that we both understand. And I have to look at things from both sides to come to a conclusion on, what we both might understand. So, I get you did so and so, but your so and so made me feel so and so, and now I feel so and so. Right? It's all about the I statements. Your action made me. This is how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But I understand why you did it. And yeah. And that's where the compassion comes in, because I understand why you did it. You're only human. You want to know what you know? You did it, cool. But this is just how it affected me. And you could simply just say it like that. You ain't got to get to yelling. You ain't got to get to cussing. You ain't got to get to calling people out their names. You could easily solve something without raising your voice, without an argument. Okay? Bringing up an issue does not mean it's going to start an argument. That's something I had to learn too. Like, I would have a hard time bringing up issues because I felt like it was going to start an argument. So I would just people please and not bring it up. But I realized that's not healthy. And there's a way of communicating without, being scared or like being argumentative. Even if I do feel fearful to bring it up, I'm going to still find a way to bring it up because I know it's going to help me grow at the end of the day. And it's communicating. Once it's communicated, it's off my chest. Right? I'm about to say something I forgot. Yeah. I guess that was it. But, yeah, bro. We kind of went off track a little bit, I feel like, but not really. I'm just rambling, but I really just want to, make sure I get everything, But at the end of the day, I feel like y'all like this, just me just talking. Because that's the whole point. But, I'm about to say something. Yeah. How I am maintaining my peace now is, like I said, learning how to sort out my feelings when I'm triggered, right? And that's not even just relationships. Sometimes I deal with social anxiety. So when work feels overwhelming sometimes and I just want to go in my little shell, right? I try to sort out my feelings, or I try breathing, catching my breath. Because when you have anxiety, your breath starts to get faster, right? I check my breath, why am I breathing so fast? Slow down. That, like I said, sorting out my emotions and being present when you don't want to be. And what I mean by that is, most of the times we're just engaging, but we're not being present in the moment. We're not being sensual in the moment. We're not taking in every 5 senses in the moment. We're just there, just cruising, right? Me being present is me recognizing how fast my heart is beating. Me being present is strictly looking into somebody's eyes and being present with that. You know what I'm saying? Me being present is fully hearing my surroundings. Me being present is fully being aware of what I'm touching at the moment, what I'm smelling at the moment. Those senses I use to be present because that is what keeps you calm within the storm. And doing that has helped me tremendously. You know what I'm saying? How to get to that, I had to learn how to meditate. When you meditate, you have to do all these things. You have to be aware of what you're feeling, what you're hearing, what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And focusing on your breath. Those things. It's not easy. But peace is obtainable. But you have to rewire your brain in a way that makes you function within that peace without going into that pain body, without being triggered, right? A lot of people don't meditate. A lot of people are not aware of their breath work in the moment. But it's something you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? In one way, shape, or form, anything that just makes you feel those five senses, do it. So if it's dancing, you love to dance, that's when you're most present, that's when you're feeling everything in the music, bam, that's meditation. If you love playing sports because, you know, you like how throwing the ball makes you feel, or running, or whatever the case may be, and you just feel fully present in that moment, that's meditating. Whatever it is that you're feeling those five senses and just in on your breathing, you got it, dude. You got it. So that's me. I'm trying to train my brain into something else, because your brain is like a computer, and once it's locked in information, it's locked in. You gotta reprogram it. All right? You gotta reprogram your mind to feel content within peace, even if it does feel boring. It's never boring. You're just still. You're at peace. Like, you're good. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. You're good. You're still. You're mindful. You're just here cruising, enjoying what life is all about, right? And it's truly amazing how you could get your brain to adapt to anything that you want, really and truly. That's why I really feel like there's no limitations when it comes to who you are, because you're limitless. Like, once you put your mind to it, it will happen, right? Test yourself. Go beyond what you would ever imagine. You know, do what scares you. Do what makes you hold yourself back. You know what I'm saying? Like, go past that line. See where it takes you, because that's when you truly start living life, when you forget about all these things that are trying to hold you into a box. That's what we have become nowadays. Like, we have become so in our box. You know what I'm saying? Fear of how other people may see us. Fear of how we're going to move in this certain scenario, the situation, that we have frightened ourselves into something that is not even there. Like, you putting yourself in that box, you putting yourself to those limitations, it's all your imagination. Get up. Stand up. Come on. Stand up. Guys, yeah. And that's how I've been feeling lately. I just been in love with life lately. And I love that for me, because it was never like that before. And I'm just going past the things that make me feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get comfortable in the uncomfortable, that's when you have found the key to life, my friend. Seriously, because life is very uncomfortable. But once you find comfort in that, once you find something that brings you peace within the storm, the eye of the storm, you know what I'm saying? That's when you have found the key. The key. Yeah. Today's tea is featuring Gems Holistic. Yeah, see how much I got already. This is her Sacred Woman Boom Man tea. And I love everything that she stands for. Her product, I'm gonna link her YouTube and her Facebook in the comments. But her products, what she does, definitely love. She is a doula. She is a yoga instructor. She is a herbalist. She is the empress, the queen right there. Everything she stands for, everything that she sells, her body butters, her washes, her seminars. Definitely something you should get into if you're into just healing your body within. healing your body with the resources that God gave us. Definitely, because, we need that. In a time of uncertainty on what the hell they put in our foods, we need to start healing our body now, because we're only going to get older and our body is going to eventually say, fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to prevent it in a way that keeps us to living to 110 years old. That's the goal, people. That's the goal. We live into 110 years old, so we gotta drink your teas, take your medicine. And when I say medicine, I don't mean the pharmacy over the counter. I'm talking about actually, not everybody could go in a backyard and grab something from the tree. Okay. Go to an organic store. Something where you just get in nature's food. All right? Yeah. Period. What's the goal? Yeah. Okay. I will see you guys on the next episode. Sorry if I'm rambling, but that's just me. All right. I hope you guys enjoy the tea, because it is the sweet tea for the soul. Don't forget to subscribe. Send to a friend, tell a friend, comment, share, and let me know what you guys think. I love the comments that I get. It's not every day, but it's good enough for me where it's just like, okay, it reminds me that I'm doing something good here. You know what I'm saying? Like, people actually appreciate the art of, just me being me. Because I am. Yeah. But yeah, I will see you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in.